So what's up? What's up? Hi, it's me again, LaShawn Bridges. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. As each week, I discuss with you guys politics and our president-elect Joe Biden, what's going on with Congress, what's going on with our senators and our state representatives and our Republicans and Democrats and more, okay? It has been so much chaos going on, right? So much. And I'm sure you guys have already heard the news. But for those of you who have not been following the news, maybe you was at work and didn't have time to watch, let me catch you up on a little bit, okay? First of all, lawmakers debated on the objection to Arizona's electoral votes. That's the latest news. Now, the certification was interrupted at first with a dreadful riot from protesters. And I don't know if you guys have been watching. For those of you who may have watched a little bit, it has been just awful. Like the whole protest was just, it was like the mob came through there and was just protesting, you might as well say, a bunch of mobsters. Now, of course, sad to say, one woman who was, a part of the riot was shot and killed, sad to say, in the riot during this riot, during the state capitol. And sad to see that, but that is what happened when you're rioting in a very angry way and you're, doing dreadful acts and you're, being violent. That's what happens, but that's what happened to her. She died, sad to say, after she was killed during the riot. Now, Senator Ben Sasse, I guess I'm saying his name right. I wrote a lot of different notes on the senators that we're talking about because I wanted to see what they was going to do about if they were for the objection of the electoral votes or if they were not for the objection of the electoral votes. And Senator Ben Sasse, he said, one of his statements was, the heart of America is a place where moms and dads are raising kids. And I loved it when he said that. And he also said, love your neighbor. And he was talking about, shovel someone's driveway. And we're supposed to be servant leaders. And I get what he was stating because he was just basically trying to say that this is America. Like, why are we so violent in America? Why can't we just love our neighbors? Why be so violent and hateful toward each other when we're all in this same country together? We're supposed to be working together, not against each other. So that's what he was stating, and amongst other things that he said. Now, Senator Dick Durbin from Illinois, some of the great American heroes lie at stake, is what he stated. This is a special place. This sacred place was designed by mob today. And did this mob spring spontaneously? No. This mob was invited by this president. And it was inspired by a president who won't accept defeat. That's what he stated. And I agree with him because it was really, like I said, it's like the mob came through there. And it was sparked by their leader, by Trump. Trump in all his negative rhetoric, of trying to have people practice racism in this country, and he's done more damage to this country than ever, more division to our democracy, to our country, to the people of America, with all his hateful rhetoric. So I have to agree with what he said, what Senator Dick Durbin said about that. And, it is definitely inspired by a president who just really will not accept his losses. He won't accept the fact that he did not win the election and that he keeps stating that the whole voting thing was a fraud, and it was not a fraud. They had specifically stated that there was 90, you guys, 90, it was 90 different courtrooms that people had went into, and there was, that they had went into, and all the courtrooms have thrown out everything that Trump has tried to say. They threw it out. So what does that tell you, Trump? Obviously, the voter fraud, there was not a voter fraud, okay? The election was not rigged. It was not a fraudulent election. It was, where Joe Biden won fair and square. I'm sorry, I can't get my words out, you guys. I'm just really it's crazy. This whole thing is stressing me out. It's just ridiculous. Okay. Now, he also stated that the links that this president would go to are obvious, and I agree. And he, it's just like crazy. After 90 different judges, he said, I don't think they let that paper hit the desk, he stated, before they laughed at it. That's what Dick Durbin stated. And I agree. I'm sure they was laughing like, what in the world, Trump? I'm sure the judges was like, oh my God, here he comes again. When he's trying to prove something that's not there. He's specifically stating that the election was rigged up and that it was voter fraud and that, we shouldn't believe they didn't count all the votes. I mean, and they specifically, every time he tried to state this, they have evidence that proves that it was not fraudulent, that the whole election was not rigged up. Nothing fraudulent happened at all. And it was a fair and square election, and Joe Biden won. And he is the president of the United States of America, whether Trump wants to agree with it or not. It is what it is, okay? Now, other senators and representatives like Senator Kansas spoke, and also Nancy Pelosi spoke up, and some of her key statements was, we will respect responsibility to the country and to the Constitution. Let us pray that this violence will provide an opportunity for our country to heal. And she also stated, we will be a part of a history that shows the world what America is made of. Colleagues, it's time to move on, she stated. And she also stated, let us pray. Let us pray there will be peace on earth. Oh my God, Nancy Pelosi, I definitely agree with you. We need peace, and we need it bad, right? And we need Jesus, okay? Because it's so much hate going on. Our country has been divided more than it's ever been, I feel. I mean, it's like we're living in the 40s and 50s all over again. And I've said this numerous of times, but it is. Here we are living in the 21st century. I mean, when have you heard of the state capitol? A state capitol, you guys, which is an important building, that leaders and congressmen come together and representatives, and this capitol is being just raided by mobs, mobsters, coming in there with weapons and, with Confederate flags swinging and just saying all kind of hateful things about how we want our country back. I heard one man state that he wants this country back. This country is ours. I mean, it is ridiculous how divided we are as American people, and we should not be like this, not in the 21st century. So Nancy Pelosi, I definitely agree with what you're saying and what you stated. Representatives Stony Hoyer, he's from Maryland, and he stated that it is a sad day in America, and I agree with him as well. It's definitely a sad day in America. And he also said our words, actions, and consequence are negative, and that we need to watch our words, he stated. He also stated that America is witnessing one of our greatest problems of our democracy, and we need to all work together to team and reduce the anger. He also went on and, talked about, from Bush to Clinton, there was no one shot at that time. No one was shot. No one was murdered. There was nothing like that. And he said, because we believed in our democracy, we believed in the people, he stated. And if these were the people, we are in a lot of trouble. And I agree with what he said. If these are the people which are representing, which they are, the people that raided the Capitol, U.S. Capitol, they are the people that are showing that this is America. And people all over countries or in other countries that tune in and watching this are looking at Americans like, are they losing their minds over there? What is wrong? This is supposed to be the land of the free, the land of the rich. And these people are, fighting, and arguing about something that is not true, that is simply not true, that there was no voter fraud or any of that. So, and they're acting out in violence. So what are we showing other people from other countries? That America is violent. That's what I feel, that America is not unified, that we are not one, that we're not all thinking of each other as equal American citizens. That's what we are showing when we're acting like this in this kind of way and coming in there with Confederate flags. We're showing division. Okay, that's what we saw today in the U.S. Capitol, sad to say. Now, every citizen, he also stated, needs to uplift our democracy. And I believe strongly in that, not tear it down, because when we do things like what they did in the U.S. Capitol, it's tearing down our democracy. It's showing that, we are not uplifting our democracy at all. Now, Senator Josh Hawley also spoke about how the mob stormed in the U.S. Capitol, and he was saying how Pennsylvania and the constitutionality has never been defended, he stated. And he was talking about how he hoped that this body will say to many Americans that violence will not be tolerated. And he said that he would object to electoral votes, and he did not withdraw of course, from his objections. So, that was his choice. But at the same time, I just feel like that, some of the things that he was saying was, true. I feel like, that we should not be storming through like a mob and throughout the U.S. Capitol the way they were showing. Now, I found out also that Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, in case you haven't heard, have now blocked the president. I heard 24 hours, but it may be even longer because they're probably tired of him tweeting and constantly posting on Twitter, especially, and on Facebook and on Instagram. And they're like, okay, enough is enough, because they feel like he's caused enough damage in America. He's caused all this drama, all this craziness that we're dealing with people fighting against each other and arguing, and the, people, you seeing people all over the internet and all over the world fighting against Democrats or fighting against Republicans, regular people, Americans are fighting against each other. And he's created all this chaos, all this rhetoric that we are seeing is because of Trump. Okay. Because of Trump constantly opening his mouth and dividing this country. Okay. So they have blocked him, from saying anything right now. And I found out that MSNBC stated that Josh Hawley should resign. I heard that one of the ladies, reporters, I forget her name, black lady, but I agree with her. She was just basically saying, Josh, okay, you have some issues going on here with you, so you need to resign. Now, the Republicans, of course, they're trying to continue to object to this, but at the same time, at the end, I did see that they did a vote in seeing who was going to withdraw from their objections of the electoral votes or not. And a lot of them said no, that they would not withdraw from their objections. And it's, I think one person said that they would withdraw from their objections, but many of them said no. So that was a good thing that they were saying, no, we're going to keep these electoral votes the same. We are not going to withdraw from what we said. We're going to go ahead and go with the process of the electoral votes and keep what we stated the first time, that they feel that, that their electoral votes are right, that there was no fraudulent electoral votes. So a lot of them said, no, we're not going to object toward these electoral votes. So that's a good thing. That means that good news, that they're basically agreeing that there was no fraudulent things going on, like Trump tried to state and tell everybody that he can possibly tell around the world and in America that there was fraud going on in electoral votes and there was fraud going on in the whole voting process. That is not true. I repeat, this is not true, you guys. He won, Joe Biden won fair and square, okay? And he will definitely be our president. And I agree with what Lindsey Graham, many things that he stated, even though he's not, a favorite of mine. But I did agree with one thing that Lindsey Graham said, and he stated that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are legally elected. And I definitely agree with that. If I haven't agreed with anything that Lindsey Graham has stated before, because, he was objecting a lot of things, about Joe Biden, and I didn't like that. He's on Trump's side. But I do agree with what he said, that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are legally elected. Okay. So that is all the news I have right now, you guys. And I will continue to follow the representatives and the senators and what's going on, and continue to watch politics. And I will definitely get back with you guys when I hear any extra news. Let's just pray that we can one day soon get our country back in order. That one day soon that everybody will be unified, and that we will stop all this chaos that's going on in our country, and that people can start treating each other fairly and more equal, or at least try to get along in a way that we're not being angry and acting in violent ways, right? So let's just hope and pray that our country can get back to the way it needs to be, unified again, right? And be, one nation under God. Okay. So you guys, if you like this post, please click a like at the like button. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm just all over the place because it's just been a crazy day, right? And if you want to comment, please leave a comment at the end of the comment section. I do read all comments. There's no right or wrong answer. You're entitled to your own opinion. And if you can click the bell for further notifications, I will highly appreciate it as I drop a video each week. And you can help support me on better videos and better quality videos as I go in the process of trying to create more political videos for you. And thank you for watching again. Thank you for supporting me, and you can support me at my Cash App, $PoliticalSean. That's $PoliticalSean, SHAWN, and deuces. God bless.